So welcome to a brand new visiting a total stranger in jail or prison video. And today I've got a brand new total stranger who we're going to be visiting. Now this is a person who's in a totally different state. I believe they're in Idaho or Indiana. What is ID? I'm not sure. Idaho, possibly? Wherever this person is at, we're getting ready to meet a person by the name of Ben. Ben's a big looking dude. In the mugshot, he's looking like that. Don't mind my sweaty pits if you can see those. It's hot up here. But Ben looks like a big dude, and I had mentioned over on Joe Does Stuff, I gave a little bit of behind the scenes with AfterPrisonShow over there, and if you're not following my other YouTube channel, Joe Does Stuff, for even more, check that out. But over there I had mentioned that one idea that I had trying to keep reinventing this and making this super interesting, or the most interesting that I can, is what if we try to visit the biggest, toughest looking dudes? Well, Ben, he looked like that in his mugshot. If he ends up looking anything different than that, who cares? He's still a total random stranger. And maybe what he'll share with us will be insightful. Maybe he won't want to do this. Who's to honestly know? I'm a little nervous knowing that, there's no... Just like with Andrew, this one is totally random. So there's no way to know how this is going to turn out. Hopefully it goes well. Maybe it'll be insightful. Should be entertaining to say the very least. And trust me when I tell you, I got many more of these that we're going to be doing. So I hope that you enjoy this. Please leave a like and a comment. Let me know exactly what you think about all of this. And let's just see how this turns out. Let's get ready to go to Idaho, I think, and meet Ben. Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Your name's Ben, correct?
That's right.
Hey, I know this probably seems super weird. Total stranger, and just ran across your mugshot. Nothing weird, but I saw your mugshot and wanted to try to schedule a visit with you, just to talk to you, see what your time's like in there.
Right. Well, it's a new jail that's kind of been built. It's kind of, am I breaking up at all?
No, you're actually coming through pretty clear.
All right. This place is a new jail added on to another jail. It's kind of pathetic. I've been in prison before. This is pretty mild. All these guys are usually weekenders, but I'm probably going to prison for a couple years, or to a work center. I'm minimum custody. And so it's like, I feel pretty confident in everything. I've been sober for like 5 years because I was incarcerated and I was at a work center. I'm in really good shape.
And that was, and forgive, the way that this is going to sound, but that was part of the reason why I wanted to schedule this random visit with you. I guess I'm new to doing this, but it's something that I guess is just interesting to me. You're the second random person that I visited with. The first one went really well. I anticipate that this one could go well as well. But, I see you going like this in your mugshot, and I'm like, okay, there he goes. I see you, Ben. You mentioned that you're in really good shape. You look like a big guy, right? So I was like, well, let me try to visit a big, maybe tough guy or something along them lines. And so that's why you stuck out to me. And again, I know this has got to seem just super weird, but nothing uncomfortable about this. I've got no, nefarious reasons for visiting you. I'm just genuinely interested.
I got you.
I'm genuinely interested in. Cool. I served time myself. I'm in the state of Virginia. I did 7 years, and then numerous other times I was locked up as well. So yeah, I'm just interested in hearing about what time is like in other states.
Right. Well, being in minimum custody, I go to the receiving diagnostic unit, and after that, I usually do 15 days in the past. It's since the COVID-19 thing. I've been totally vaccinated. I'm a hard worker. I work in fire camps. I work as firefighter. I work out. I go to church. I'm 55 years old. I go to work centers. Last time I was here, I made $35,000, and I paid off all my fines and everything.
You made $35,000 While you were locked up?
35,000.
Wow.
That was 1 year. 1 year. Up till then, I was making like $100 a month, and I busted my ass. I got my driver's license back. I got some welding experience in here. Uh, I'm the youngest of 10 kids, man, but it's like I'm the only one that's ever been in prison or jail. And methamphetamine is kind of like I said, I've been sober for 5 years and try to kick the habit, but shit's not easy to get out of your, it's not easy to get away from. Got me?
No, I understand completely. Again, I'm in the state of Virginia. It's just as bad out here as where you're at. And what state are you in? Is it Indianapolis or is it Idaho?
Idaho.
I don't know anything about anything out there, so it's just interesting getting a chance to speak with you and hear, like how you said you made $35,000 while you were locked up. Here in the state of Virginia, they're paying us, 35 cents an hour, 45 cents an hour at best. But you had the ability to be a firefighter. Is that
Broke up the whole time? You broke up the whole time you said that. So I get bits and pieces from what you're saying.
okay?
I didn't hear what.
I guess the biggest point that I wanted to say was here in the state of Virginia, prisoners were making 35 cents an hour. You said you made $35,000 the last time you were locked up. What type of work were you doing?
I do concrete finishing. I'm a concrete finisher. That was a work center
Okay.
where the people are. It's
Like a work
community
release program. Yeah.
Yeah, community reentry center. So I had a job working for a regular company
Okay.
that I made. So these guys turned into my brothers and everything, and so I was out of prison all the time except for 4 hours. I'd come home and I'd be home by like 9 o'clock at night, and I'd leave like at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was going halfway across the state to do concrete work, and they'd get me back. They're like brothers to me, but this people I just barely met though. I'm a good guy, man. And it's like, sorry you said being a tough dude. I've never had my ass kicked. I have 10 older brothers and sisters, and I learned a long time ago not to take any more of that shit when I got older. And so I've been really respectable to other people, and that usually pays off. It just pays off more than anything, man. I mean, I've been around every race and everything, and it's like I'm really respectable to everybody, but I try to stay out of other people's problems and try to focus on what's going to better me and stuff like that.
Well, you sound like a very humble individual, and you certainly sound like you know a lot about serving time and the politics that go into that. Let me ask you this, because, again, I know nothing of Idaho, and I've got a bunch of stuff that I want to ask you. So, first of all, can I ask, are you cool with this? Is this okay for you?
It's cool. You do whatever you want with this video or with however you're doing that. I'm a musician too. I have a studio. I play piano and I play guitar and stuff like that. And I'm pretty much could play with anybody, as far as like heavy metal and stuff like that. So I got all kinds of microphones, all kinds of setups to where I'm pretty awesome. I'm 55 years old and I've been playing my whole life, so I can play about anything. But I don't mind publicity, and I don't mind whatever you want to use this for. You can use it for.
Well, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you mentioning that, because that leads me into something that I always have to mention. This isn't like I'm not like I'm live or nothing anywhere. However, I am recording this. I've got a YouTube channel. It's called AfterPrisonShow. Again, I serve time. I've worked with people. This is a new segment that I'm doing on the show, visiting random strangers in jail and prison. And it's not to make light of anybody's situation or to make fun of anybody. I imagine at some point I may end up arguing with a guy like, hey, who are you? Whatever.
Hey, I didn't hear what you said, but I totally got what you said. I think I understand this. You follow me through this prison term, this sentencing thing you updated, and I'll show you what happens for somebody who's pleaded guilty, who's totally trying to take the righteous road. I'm not trying to fight anything. A little bit of stuff. I'm going to take whatever they give me. I'm going to work hard. And I'll keep you informed the whole way along. I mean, Christ is in my life, and I can keep you updated on how Christ works through people who have a good attitude and try to fix their lives. And if you want to use any of this stuff for that, and you want to keep in contact with me, the videos will get better, and I'm totally down for that.
Cool deal. I'm glad that we were able to do that. It's breaking up a little bit on my end. I imagine on your end as well. Do you have support in there? Do you have family? Do you talk to anybody on the outside? Ah, yeah, that was horrible right there in terms of the quality. That was terrible.
What a pain in the ass, huh?
Yeah, this is man, you guys have you guys got to have a tough time getting in contact with people.
Yeah, I've had an extremely. I mean, what can I say though?
Yeah. Well, it looks like we got a good signal right this second, so hopefully that'll last. It's good to get a chance to speak with you again.
You too, Joe. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate the offers you had too. Go ahead.
Yeah, not a problem at all. I saw your messages on how to get the money to you. I want to put $20 on your books. Hopefully that'll help you get some things. And maybe out of this, you get some pen pal support as well.
Awesome. I dig it.
You know, real quick, let me ask you, speaking of support, do you have any support on the outside world? Any family, friends, anybody that you stay in contact with?
It's been pretty tough right now. Fortunately, I have a bank account, and they're gonna, they send money to me. It's just a long process.
Right. Yeah, I understand. And is your court situation already resolved and you're waiting, you're serving your time, or are you still in the process of going to court?
Yes, sir. It's me, Joe. I've been through this before. You're kind of freezing up for me a little bit right now, but yeah, it's the COVID bullshit and all that stuff. It's kind of like put everybody in a standstill. You know what I mean?
So you haven't gotten your time yet?
Nope. I'm looking at like maybe 0 to 4 years. I don't know. Maybe,
Well,
I just did 4 years.
I don't need to know the ins and outs of your situation, but if you don't mind me asking, generally speaking, what are you locked up for? Is it drugs? Is it addiction? Is it something else?
It's addiction and some methamphetamine.
And you mentioned that this is nothing new to you. You said you just got done doing 4 years.
Yep. So that's exactly true.
How long were you out before you got arrested again?
A year and a half.
And in that time, did you go right back into the addiction? Did you try to give yourself a chance to avoid it?
I didn't go right back into it. In fact, I've been sober for like 6 years. I just happened to have some that they found in a drawer that I knew, but I hadn't been using. I used it like maybe a few times, and I got caught by my parole officer. Parole officers came out, and then they brought a cop, and they brought a dog, and I built a relapse prevention plan that kind of fell apart as soon as I couldn't go to church, as soon as I couldn't to AA, as soon as I couldn't, the job failed and everything, and then I got unemployment, like $1,000 a week because I've worked my ass off.
Wow.
I made 35 grand, probably more than that while I was at the work center because I was working 60 hours. I'm a hard worker, and I'm devoted totally to the church thing. But I mean, my job pretty much failed, and so and I was told to stay home. And it's like at that point, I just did what the government said, man.
Well, you're breaking up a little bit, but I'm going to try to use what I can from this. So again, just to make sure that you're fully aware and that you're okay with it. So I like to be able to record these as random stranger visits, no malice or no funny stuff intended with it. And it's just
awesome.
It's just me as a complete stranger visiting you, hearing about what time is like, where you're at. I make a YouTube video out of this. It goes on my channel, After Prison Show. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, to reach out to you, I'm going to pass along your information to them so that they can contact you.
That's perfect. I agree with that, and I give you permission for that.
I appreciate that. So let's talk a little bit about where you're at in Idaho. I don't know anything about it. Let's talk about the jail that you're in right this second. Do they charge you per day to be in there? Because here in my state in Virginia, some jails charge up to $3, maybe $5 a day.
They charge people in here for like $25 a day, and if you can see that, it's like I'm where there's 35 people shoved into a hallway.
Right, I see.
And
yeah.
And this packed in here. We got people sleeping on the floors. There's got two 12-man cells with 20 dudes in it. They're overpacked, and they charge $25 a day for each person that's here.
They charge the prisoner. They charge you $25 a day, or is that what they're charging? Like the state's paying?
Nope, that's what they charge the prisoner, and they'll send it to collections as soon as they get out. And if you come back, they'll take the money off your books. If you come in with money, they'll take it from your books.
So for you, for example, how do you keep up with that? Because if you're saying $25 a day times 7, that's, a couple $100 right there.
I do believe there's a cap limit of $500.
Okay.
But yeah, they charge you up to $500.
So they're going to get $500 out of every prisoner in there immediately, some kind of a way.
They will try it, but the people that are in here that are state inmates, they won't get that.
And why is
Just
that?
if they're
if they're county.
Because
I got you.
If they're county.
So if
right
they don't,
now I'm in Twin Falls. Go ahead.
So if you don't end up getting time and getting sent to prison, and you stay as a county prisoner, you've got to pay that $25 a day. However, if you do get time and you're going to prison, they don't take that money anymore.
No, they don't take that money. They do only if you're misdemeanor or some like weekend visits. All of the small crimes, they get charged that $25 a day.
So for you per se, I mentioned sending $20 to you. Are they going to snatch that money up as soon as I send it to you?
No, they won't. No, they when you don't owe them any money, they don't take it from you until you get out.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on. Ben, is it good that I call you Ben, or is it Benjamin? What do you go by?
I go by Ben. How about yourself?
Joe.
Joe?
Yep. So I didn't want to be calling you.
Hey.
I didn't want to be calling you something that you're not being called and all of that. Right. But talk to us about your day in there, Ben. What do you do? What's a normal day for you like in there?
The situation pretty much is it's crowded. It's like a dog kennel.
It looks like it.
I get it is, man. They just built this. They built this onto a existing jail. They want a brand new jail. The COVID vaccine gave them $2 million to spend on this, and so they spent it on this. The showers and the shitters and everything are we're packed on top of each other. It's pretty much like you got to watch everybody do everything. But
right.
that's their routine for getting a new jail, I think.
In terms of,
the most of the staff that
sorry about that. In terms of you personally, like, what do you do? What's a day in the life of Ben in there? What do? You get up, you eat chow, you work out. What do you do?
I get up and look pretty for you. I get up and I get a razor at like 5 in the morning. Then I read the Bible and other books and tell like chow about 6 o'clock, 6:30. You hear me?
Yep, I can.
And then all right, and then I clean up, and these guys are sleep until like 11 o'clock, but I get up and start watching TV at 8 o'clock, and then I go outside a rec 5 days a week for an hour, and I work out and try to keep myself in great shape, and we're getting ready for prison or whatever they give me, and work center or whatever. I'm minimum custody, man. I've got a great record with the Department of Corrections, so they'll send me to a work center, a reentry center, or a work camp, depending on how much time they give me. And my charge is pretty minimal, but it's a possession of the mandatory of 3 years. I don't know how they're going to deal with that, but I'm pretty good shape, man.
Stay with us now. Don't break up totally. You're breaking up, Ben. If you can hear me, hopefully it's going to come back. And we lost him. I'm going to try to call him back one more time because I know I can probably call him back. Hopefully he's still sitting right there and we can get him right back on the line.
Pain in the butt. Got to get as what you can in where you can.
I'm noticing that, but we're making do with it. And when it's coming through well. So we can definitely work around the delay. Ben, forgive me for asking you all these questions. I hope you're cool with that. Let me think. So Idaho looks like...
You don't know where Idaho is. Yeah, it's right next to Washington and Oregon. Some of it's in the Pacific Northwest. The other is in Mountain Time.
Okay, yeah. So you look like a big dude. You look like a big dude in there. You look like you may be one of the older heads in there. Forgive me for saying it that way. It looks like you're in there with a bunch of young bucks. You know, do these guys
Oh,
show
yeah.
do these guys show you respect as a guy who's been through it already?
They not really.
Oh, yeah, I figured,
No,
right?
they're not but it's like they learned that who to fuck with and who not to. I mean,
Right,
but
right, for sure.
I treat all these guys with as much respect as I can, and right now I'm disrespecting them by talking real loud. But you know, shit happens, and it's like this. They're concrete walls. The sound comes off of it. It's what it is, man.
Can they hear me as I'm talking, or no? Just because you got the headphones on?
No,
Okay.
I got the headphones on. They can't hear you.
Um,
It's just me.
so so with the fact that you mentioned, are these guys, a lot of these guys never being locked up before? This is their first time. Are you dealing with?
Yeah.
Are you dealing with a lot of young, immature, annoying folks in there?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Absolutely.
I hate that for you, Ben, because I'm familiar with that as well. But with that tends to come, you know, problems, guys fighting. You know, how often are people fighting in there, if at all?
Daily. We had a dude the other day he got just pummeled, dude. The cops never showed up, and the dude just the smaller he picked a fight with the small dude, and the small dude just whipped his fucking ass.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing you'd ever expect, because the cops usually show up pretty quick. Anyways, he learned a real good lesson not to fuck with people that are small.
Yeah. Um, what about you, Ben? Have you had to do much fighting since you've been in there?
Not right now, nope. But I can handle myself really well. But it's like, uh, no, I'm not worried about my physical danger or the physical environment of here or Max or anywhere I'd have to go. But fortunately for me, I rank in the lower. I got like -0 points because of my age and because of my past record with the Idaho Department of Corrections. So I'll go immediately to a work camp or to a prison, what I call prisony land. But it's difficult for most people. I've been through.
Prisony land? I like that. That's hilarious. And forgive me, I didn't mean to cut you off right there. But how long have you been locked up for now, Ben?
Before my whole life, it's about 10 years, and I've been to every facility in the state except for the women's, of course.
What about this time particularly? How long have you been locked up?
I've been locked up for about, I don't know, going on 5 weeks or 6 weeks, month and a half.
Oh wow, so you're just getting in there. You know, talk to me about what your thought process is right now, thinking about this. Like, damn, here I go again. I'm in the same situation. You know, where's your head at with everything?
I've been in really good shape, man. It's like I said, being sober for like as long as I have, it's like I've cleared up my head. The last time I was in here, I thought the world was coming to an end. I thought my family would be dead by the time I got out, and that turned into being just delirium. And so I'm pretty good shape with thinking about, I mean, the Bible and stuff like that. With my past experience of knowing all of it, I feel comfortable with all this. I mean, having you contact me and having this happen, I think, is a fate of God, and whatever you want to look at it. I mean, I might run into someone here that's like, you know, falls in love with me. I'm single, whatever the case may be. I'm a straight white guy. I try to explain to any black people, any Mexicans, or anybody that from a different race that I'm not racist, and it comes off good because I help people. Yesterday, I had a guy in here that had a heart attack, and I was like the first guy on the scene to help him. You know, and it's like I don't have a problem with that if I can. And if I get in fight,
There's a lot to digest right
Right.
there, and I want to try to break that up a little bit. But first, let me go back to the guy that had the heart attack. What happened with that?
he wanted a bottom bunk, and there's not bottom bunk available for him. He's laying on the floor. I kind of checked him out when I walked by him, and he was choking on his own spit and stuff, and he was in excruciating pain. He tried to whisper to me that he was having a heart attack or something, so I lifted him up to get him out so he wouldn't die when I went to push the button and tell them, and they came down here and took him out of here and took him wherever they take him, and they never came back.
You didn't
So I
hear
helped him.
you didn't hear anything in relation to whether he lived or not?
Imagine that he's an old Hell's Angel guy, and coming off of heroin or some shit, and which is frequent in the county jail. People can't handle sobriety because they've been hooked on opiates. I've never been in that position, but I have been hooked on methamphetamine and come in here, and it's a lot different situation. But that guy, he's not going to make it very long. Like he's wore out, and they don't care. They'll still put you in jail. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Let's move on to another thing that you had mentioned. You say you get along with everybody. I don't see one black person in there at all. And I mean, are there? I don't, and I'm not saying this to be funny at all, Ben. I'm genuinely asking this. Are there many black folks in there, or in general?
No, in Idaho, the only black people there's not very many. We have one that comes in that's a refugee. A couple days to do weekends. One kid was 18. He was in here that day, but he decided to kite out. He decided that he pushed the button and get out. He was my bunkie, and people, I don't know, they say stupid crap, and he thought people in here were racist. And he's only 18, coming off of probably some kind of trip or something. But he decided to tell them some wild ass story, and they took him somewhere else. And so 18-year-olds.
It's incredible to hear that type of stuff, given that where I'm at versus where you're at, and just a totally different dynamic. But I just wanted I just wanted to mention that real quick. I don't know when this thing is going to act up on us again, Ben. So I want to mention this real quick. I want to maintain contact with you, whether through the messages or maybe doing these visits from time to time. I'm also going to make it available for anybody who might want to write to you to help you get some pen pal support in there, and then to also put that $20 on your books. I'll do that as soon as I get off of this visit with you right here. So be looking for that.
You can replay this back and take this address down. Okay.
Well, I'm going to make sure that I'll be able to get it for sure after I play it back. But if anybody wants to write to you, I'm going to make sure that they're able to do that. And who knows, maybe you do get some support out of this. You know, you seem like a guy that I know 1,000 guys of. You seem like a really good guy. You seem like drugs have been the issue for you, but you're a guy that cares about yourself because of your physical, you know, you take care of yourself working out wise. It sounds like, and I don't need to know, but just from me talking with you, it sounds like your PO came over to your house and found some stuff that you know, found drugs, and now you're locked up and you're getting ready to go back to prison. You just came out of prison. You know, what's the next step for you, Ben? Like, what do you see for your life after this?
Well, I'm hoping that they show me some kindness in court, right? My probation officer was here yesterday, and I mean, and I absolutely respect and love. She's been great for me. Same with Johnson and the rest of the, you know, crew at the parole office. But when they found drugs, they had to call the Twin Falls police, and so no matter how much they were ready to reinstate my everything and get me going. But when they found that, I pretty much burnt, you know. So I didn't know it was really there. I don't know. I got the vaccine for coronavirus, and I kind of was a little bit out of it for a couple of days, and I don't want to make excuses on this, but it's like I'm taking responsibility for everything, and what I see next for me is being put back on parole within a couple of years. I'll work my ass off and keep in contact with you, and in the next stage of this, I'll be able to the contacts, the visits will be much better. I'll show you the stages of how this goes through, and if that benefits you or me, so God bless that, and more power to it. But if it's, you know, doesn't go through all that, I'm still down, man. And I think that the new generation needs to have some type of they look on YouTube and needs to find some kind of direction of which way they're going. You catching all this?
Yeah, for sure.
They need to find some new direction to go, and they might look at you, hey, well, this is what I got to look forward to, and it's not pleasant for the young guy. You know, some of these guys in here, they've have experience, and they know family or their parents or their father or somebody that's been through this shit, and they think they know how it is, but they screw themselves by getting in a fight or some kind of battery, and so they can never go to minimums. They can never earn a decent living while they're in prison. And before, while I was in prison, I made $100 a month on one job, and another job I worked in the kitchen and made $20 a month. However that works, you know, it still bought my coffee, and still I didn't have to ask anybody for any help. You know, getting a letter from people, someone, you know, here and there, I look forward to it. You know, it's like it's one of the best things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like I'm trying to be as respectable as I can, and I think that's the way to go through this. With you don't act like you're hard and tough, and you don't come in a place looking to get your ass kicked. You look like you take like you don't ask for, you don't try to get a bottom bunk right when you come into a place that's packed. You have to take the bunk that's available, and if it's as soon as that's unavailable, and you get a chance to move down, then you move down. You know what I mean? And until then,
do you have a bunk right now, or are you sleeping on the floor?
Well, I got a bottom bunk that took me 5 weeks to get it, but I pay the dues, and people come around here, and I think they need one more than I do, and so I give them the opportunity to it's count time. Anyways, I give them the opportunity to, depending on their age or more respect to them, if they want to move to a different area, and at the point that I got my bottom bunk, it's like kind of took it out of the area I wanted, but I just felt like, I'll take it. And so I'm good to go. I got, respect for everybody, and I could jump up on a top bunk, but it's like out of respect for everyone else to learn the system, they just have to learn the system.
Let me ask you this real quick, and I hope this isn't too personal. Are you making commissary in there?
Right now, after 5 weeks is the first tonight, I get commissary for the first time.
What are you looking forward to most? What do you got coming?
Atomic fireballs.
Got the
They don't let you have coffee. Yeah, they don't let you have coffee in this county because it's just one of those things. People get hyped up, but it's a bullshit.
Well, I'm gonna send the $20 to you. Stay in contact with me through the messages, and maybe in the next couple of days or possibly next week sometime, let's do another visit. But I'm going to send that $20 to you right now. As soon as I get off of here, I'm going to look through the messages, make sure I know exactly where I'm sending that. And Ben, you got 30 seconds. Say something to everybody who might be writing to you.
I look forward to talking to you. Peace, love, and faith through this, and God bless you. And if you want to write me, bring it on. I'll talk to you, and you can figure everything out you want to talk to me about. Until then, peace, love, and go America. Go Donald Trump.
Ben. Hey, I'll talk with you soon, all right?
All right, brother. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Take care, man.
Awesome. Later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.